Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts,
boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Aquaman goes to college? It's okay.
This is Bros, Foes, and Heroes. And I know this isn't my usual, peppy intro, but it's because I've done something that I can't believe I did. We recorded 15 minutes of the show before I looked down and noticed that I wasn't recording the audio for it.
Yeah.
So
send us $5 and we'll send you the lost 15 minutes.
You're not missing anything.
Audio sucks, but you'll get it.
Here's the thing. Mike knows a little bit of the jokes that are coming, but that's
fine.
about it. Here's the thing. I explained before, so I can do a quicker explanation of some housekeeping.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Zach. That's Mike. Cute little button nose and all. And we haven't been around for a couple weeks because I've been sick.
Yeah.
But I'm doing better now. Got out of the hospital, up on the
Those bunions were gigantic.
Huh?
You had gigantic bunions. They were so big. I was like, how did that happen overnight?
I don't know, but thankfully the hospital was able to help me with that.
They sawed them right off. It's crazy.
So I'm back. We're back doing the show, and we're back also with more content.
Hey.
A few weeks back, people had talked about how they'd like some more Silver Age stuff, and so that's exactly what we're doing. Since I am somebody who loves alliteration so much, and also a lot of these fun Silver Age stories seem to be Batman, Superman team-ups that were in World's Finest. On Wednesdays, we're going to start bringing you what I like to call World's Finest Wednesdays, which is going to be nothing but Silver Age stories. We'll have one this week to kind of get it kicked off. And also, that is what the show is about today, is some of the Silver Age stuff to show you what you can expect on these Wednesday shows. Coming up after that, our Monday show will still stay the same, more a little bit long form. Wednesday stuff's going to be a little bit shorter, just to wet your beak with some Silver Age stuff each week. We'll have the longer shows on Monday, and we'll probably focus on more post-crisis stuff, which is a very nerdy way to say 86 and up, some of the newer stuff, or also even a little bit stuff before that, but is considered really just good stuff, and just things we want to cover will be on the Monday show. Wednesday will be your Silver Age fill.
There you go.
So now that I've given the rundown, I think pretty succinctly compared to how I did it the first time.
Did a good job.
On today's show, as I said, we're going to give a Silver Age preview. And to get that started off, I got two stories for you. One involving Mike's favorite superhero, Aquaman.
Yay, Fish Boy.
And the second one to show you it's a World's Finest story with Batman and Superman. Our Aquaman story takes place in Adventure Comics number 120.
I literally thought you were going to say it takes place in the water.
Some of it does, because it does involve Aquaman. We have Superman on the
we
cover.
had this whole conversation about whether Superboy is Superman, just younger.
But you know what? You got to pay for the lost footage.
That's right. You pay for that lost footage. Yeah,
we
we'll
figured out.
You can barely hear it, but it's wonderful.
But this is telling a story of Superman when he was a boy, as he's lifting essentially a ton weight on
with his
one finger.
Yeah, single finger.
As kids take pictures of him. Our story, though...
Those are kids from that Grit newspaper.
That's true. Our story involving Aquaman, though, is Aquaman goes to college. Again, 1947, and the reason behind all that.
I'm going to go ahead and point out what I pointed out the first time.
That's true.
Aquaman is in a bathtub full
In
of
his dorm
water
room.
in his dorm room while an octopus decorates his room.
Yes. And Aquaman is not helping him at all. Aquaman
You're right.
Is lazy.
He is a great superhero.
I love how he keeps his little beanie on though while he
Mm-hmm.
reads. So Aquaman gathers up all the fish under the sea that are around him one day and goes, "Hey guys, I just want to let y'all know that I'm going to college, and I'm just going to be gone for a bit."
And I'm afraid that most of you have a lifespan of like 6 years, so I may not see you again.
Maybe. Depends on how my studies go. He didn't just wake up and have this epiphany one morning and be like, you know what, I probably should learn more about all the creatures here below me. He tells the story of how he came across this strange fish and he swam up to it to get a closer look and noticed that its spines, like he got poked by one, and it hurt really bad. But then he started to feel sick, so he noticed maybe it's poisonous too. So I do love still. I was pretty sick for a few days simply because I hadn't known about the spines. But Aquaman gets poisoned, just gets sick for a few days, and then he's good. He's back at it.
Well, he is a superhero.
That is true. He essentially tells them all, so I've decided to go from the ocean up to land to go to college to learn more about fish and about the ocean.
Talking about the sickness.
Yeah.
Are there any superhero? Are there any superheroes stories that take place during COVID? Did they write COVID-specific superhero stories?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm just wondering. I don't know.
Sure somebody did.
For some reason, it hit my mind. I didn't know.
I'm sure somebody did.
Yeah. That'd be great. Batman's fighting. He's got one of those freaking N9 masks or whatever on his face. N95. whatever it is.
Yeah. He tells his octopus friend, "So long, pal. I'll keep in touch with you." And he like just shakes his tentacle. And
Bye,
then he just
octopus
leaves. Bye,
friend.
guys. So, I've already blocked it, so I'm not going to ask Mike again. But Aquaman enrolls in Weston College under a pseudonym, Mr. Waterman, or Mr. Waterman, probably, because he's like, my name's Aqua Waterman.
Yeah, my name is Aquaman.
But so Mr. Waterman has decided to go to Weston because of Professor Hatcher, who is the best ichthyologist in the country.
He's got a big-ass beard, too.
He does, which I just realized. Hatcher, do you think that's a joke on like fish hatcheries?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be.
It's
not a good one, but it might be.
a panel of them telling each other good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Seems like such wasted space.
And then there is a montage of Aquaman studying. He's in doing lectures.
So he's sitting.
Yeah.
He's reading.
And
he's
looking. Through a
looking.
microscope.
Boy, that is
all
action.
the college experience
Action.
you can want. But when the school day is over, he's like, I can't bear being on land anymore. I need to go get some water. And he crawls to the top of the water tower that's there on campus and just swims around in the water tower as he relaxes. This is swell. I don't see how mortals can bear living out of water all the time.
Okay, number one, I bet he pees in it.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
People get in a pool, they pee in it.
Not
Number
everybody.
two, people have to drink that water.
That is true.
That is gross.
Now, him, yeah.
Get
you
your-
don't want to drink.
Get your
some of these
webbed
bad
ass
water.
out of there, Aquaman.
Let's not forget, I went back and I listened to, because I made a short out of, we covered the first appearance of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Do you remember his original origin?
Uh-uh.
So his dad was a famous underwater scientist.
That's right.
And he taught him how to live underwater. And it's just about 100 scientific secrets. They don't tell you why or how. It's just 100 scientific secrets taught him how to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, he wasn't even at this time. He's just a man who learned how to live underwater.
His dad screwed a fish.
That's not brought up in the story.
All right.
Because it makes it sound like in the original story that he just takes his kid underwater with him. He's like, learn how to breathe.
Yeah.
Back at Weston College, where Aquaman attends.
You know this guy's trouble because he's got a bowler hat and a cigar.
Oh, and you are 100% correct.
Yeah.
But a fish out of water is not the only one who has problems, is what it says above it. There's the guy here named Mr. Reed who tells Professor Hatcher, he's like, you know all about fish, but what about football, baseball, basketball? And our team never wins anything here. I'm ashamed that I went to Weston.
Why are you asking an ichthyologist about that?
I don't know, but he's like, but Mr. Reed, and he's like, if Weston doesn't win the swimming meet, I'm going to stop financing the school. There you go.
Again, ichthyologist professor, he's over the swim meet.
He's not, though. We see the swim coach, and it's not him.
Yeah.
So it's like if you showed up to a university to complain about athletics and you went to the biology teacher's class, it is. And you're like, how come our football team's so bad? He's just going to shrug at you and be like, not my chair, not
Listen,
my problem.
coach,
Like,
why do I
don't
have
know
to
what
take
you're talking
math
about.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where Professor Hatcher tells him, he's like, but we have no money like to waste on athletics. Like the money we do have keeps the school open. Logical explanation.
Dumbass.
But Mr. Reed tells him, he's like, well, if you don't keep going on, or he goes, well, you won't keep going on if you don't have my money, essentially. Like, I'm going to pull all my funding unless you find a way to win this thing.
Who the hell does he think he is?
Yeah, well, Aquaman hears it and comes by and goes, we do have a good team, and we're going to win that swim meet.
Aquaman is dressed like a 60s beatnik.
He is.
Yeah.
In 1947, though. So he's ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Mr. Reed tells him, win, don't make me laugh. You haven't got a chance in a million. In fact, I'll give you $1 million if Weston College is the team that wins. But if they lose, you're not getting a cent more from me. Like, I'm done. I'm cutting all
Gonna
funding.
pull his funding.
So Aquaman tells the professor, don't worry, professor, we'll win. And he shows up at the swimming pool where he talks to the coach, who is not the professor.
Yeah.
It says on the day of the meet. So he doesn't show up beforehand thinking, I could go there right now. On the day of the meet itself, Aquaman shows up and goes,
He's busy, man. He's got reading. He's got looking. He's got sitting.
oh, that's true.
I mean, come on.
He didn't have time for it.
Then
But
he's got to get in the
walks up
tub.
And he essentially goes, Coach, I'm here for the swim meet. My friends tell me I swim pretty good. And the coach is like, okay, fine for you to wait until this day to try out, but go ahead and jump in the pool real quick.
Hey, at least he addressed it, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Good job showing up on the day of.
Yeah, the coach is like, come on, man.
Freaking
But so
weirdo.
he dives in the pool, and the coach is like, okay, not bad. And he goes, like, how's your wind? And then they go 15 minutes underwater. And he's like, pinch me, somebody. And Aquaman pops back up, and he goes, the explanation is simple. You would think he might want to hide the fact who he is. No. Coach, you see, I'm Aquaman, but I'm a bona fide student, so I'm eligible for the team.
Then why call yourself Waterman?
Why just not be like, Aquaman goes to college. Hey, I'm Aquaman.
Hey, I'm Aquaman.
Because then maybe the kids would be like, man, Aquaman will not stop asking questions in our class.
Aquaman, he
He goes,
sucks.
Aquaman, I know I'm dreaming. Then we start
That's
the
what
meet.
that fish smell is. That's what.
We start the meet, and like they comment on how like Aquaman's almost finished before the other swimmers have even made the turn on the lap. Then we cut to, so they're obviously kicking ass at the meet.
It seems unfair.
It is, but
It's kind of
he's
like
a bona fide student, so
well, it's bona fide. He's bona fide.
He's-
It's kind of like those guys with the blades for legs running in a regular marathon, or whatever. I mean, you can't run. You can't put the people with legs versus the people with no legs.
I mean, you could.
You can, but I still don't think that's fair necessarily.
I don't think it's the same thing. I think like this is a guy who has like it's above something like that.
Yeah.
Like, more so. Here's what it is.
They
to
got
me.
bionic legs,
Well, I think it's more like it's a peewee football team.
and they shoot people through the
And
bathroom
Patrick
door.
Mahomes is the quarterback for the other peewee football.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
But it's
Yeah.
like it's tackle football.
Yeah, I get it.
So he just like
Sure.
he's just pushing those 5-year-olds
So
down.
he's just tackling 5-year-olds.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes stiffs arm 5-year-olds.
Mommy.
But
I can see that. I can see Patrick Mahomes pushing down 5-year-olds.
well, his wife support. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
So it just seems not too far off. He takes somebody out of East Texas. So we've been transferred to. I know. Love how
we
this
can
has
talk about
nothing
him
to
because
do-
he's from here.
No, we can't though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we can't. Whatever. I love how I just dropped that in there. Back to Aquaman.
What's up with the tortillas, by the way?
Them
Why do they
throwing-
throw the tortillas on
Did I
the
ever
field?
tell you? Side note. So I did work in sports. For a long time.
Yeah.
And I covered a game at the Texas State Fair.
Yeah.
It was the second week of that, but it was Texas Tech and Baylor.
Okay.
And in the press box for it, there's two things that I remember that day. It's the first time after the game that I saw adults get into a fist fight over mustard.
Neat.
And so stupid. And also, yeah, whenever they would score anything, waves of tortillas would just fly out. And it was cool, but also like it was weird because like who's picking up all the tortillas?
Right.
But
Wasteful, messy.
Exactly. I don't think it's good for birds.
No idea about the origin.
No, or what it's being. But
Yeah.
But that I just remember seeing like it happened a couple times. I feel like it was on kickoffs, but you would just see it was kind of like. You know the scene in 300 where it's like it gets shadowy because of all the arrows? It was like that except with tortillas.
Sure.
So
That game was sponsored by Old El Paso.
Hey, would you like some taco shells that don't get soggy? Old El Paso taco shells. Not a sponsor, but maybe. Wink, wink. I'll shill taco shells.
Oh yeah, I'll throw tortillas at the camera.
Just back and forth at one another.
Sure.
We're gonna play catch with tortillas. So Mr. Reed, we see, it says that $1 million looks like a cinch, doesn't it? But on the yacht, what do you think a rich dude named his yacht at this time?
What's his name? Reed?
Reed. Think of Citizen Kane.
Oh, is it?
Rosebud's the name of the yacht.
Come on.
It shows that they essentially, like, it starts to sink. And they think they're not going to be able to make it. So there's a chance that Mr. Reed might drown at sea.
Wonderful.
Aquaman is still going through just killing it in all the events. Diving, more like the backstroke. Like he's winning everything.
Now he's in his suit.
Yeah. Oh, he switched from...
Before he came up, he had nothing.
Yeah, but well, here's the thing. Maybe they were like, we're going to be honest. We're just going to tell them, yeah, you are racing against Aquaman. Because during the meet, he wears his costume the whole time.
If I was any other school, I would petition whatever organization is over this and say, this cannot happen.
The day of.
Yeah.
But he's a bona fide student.
I mean, because you could enroll any NFL player in college, because few of them have finished. You enroll them, put them on the team. They just cream people.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, I feel like that was a storyline in a couple different TV shows.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But we get intercuts of
freaking
now
Rudy.
The lifeboat as crashed by the waves, and they've been ejected from it. Mr. Reed and his crew to Aquaman just beating everybody. Like where it's back and forth between the two. All of a sudden, an eel swims up through the grate in the swimming pool. And Aquaman tells him, thanks for coming through miles of water pipes to get here, eel. Old pal,
so
I'll leave
stupid.
at once, because the eel tells him, hey, Mr. Reed is about to die.
The eel says, zzz, 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 zzz.
A dash to a nearby river. Hold on. I just realized they have a yacht out on a river?
They have a yacht on a river that has eels that somehow is connected to the
Miles of
collegiate
pipe.
swimming pool. Yeah. Oh, this all makes sense. This is great.
Aquaman shows up. He does save Mr. Reed.
Oh, thank God.
But there's obviously a lot of crew, so he gets like his octopus pal to like save him too and hold him. And the whole time, like Mr. Reed's just throwing out money. Like, I'll give somebody $1 million if they save me.
His
I'll give
octopus
somebody
partner?
Well, he's not named Topo yet.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
he was Topo later.
That's true.
He goes, I'll give you $1 million if you save me from this monster, talking about the octopus. And that's where Aquaman's like, Octi's saving your life, Reed. Just relax and enjoy it.
Octi.
Just relax and enjoy it, Mike.
I bet he's not even rich.
Maybe not, but they use a whale to bring
Because he
them
does
all
say,
ashore.
I'll give people $1 million a
And then
lot.
doesn't.
Just everything. I'm
find
so
out-
thirsty. If you bring me a Coke, I'll give you $1 million.
Mr. Reed, habitual liar.
Yeah.
But then, so the whale brings them back on shore, and Aquaman tells them, here you are, Reed, safe and sound, but don't you forget your promise. And he's like, I won't. Just the thrill of the rescue is worth every cent I own. And then it says shortly, $1 million, or $1 million to West End College, $9 million to charity. Here you are. And then they're like, oh, you're so generous, Mr. Reed. And then a thought bubble from Aquaman says, with a little assist from me, he is, but it's all for a good cause.
Jesus Christ.
And that's the end of Aquaman Goes to College.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. He didn't really go to college.
All
He did was get on the swim team.
He spent one day in school at least. He went to
Okay.
one day of class.
Oh, yeah,
because
because
montage.
it was those 12 minutes where he was sitting, looking, and reading.
Exactly. So he did go to college
My
there.
God.
But
Yeah.
so that is Aquaman Goes to College. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up our episode with World's Finest number 155 from 1966. I made sure to keep ears this time for Mike.
Aquaman sucks.
We'll have all that coming up next right here on Bros, Foes, and Heroes. Welcome back into Bros, Foes, and Heroes as we continue some more Silver Age shenanigans. Don't forget now, with the release on Monday of our full show, also on Wednesdays, we will have more Silver Age stuff. I can tell you the first episode will be World's Finest number 189. So you got a couple days if you want to look it up to get into it. It is a 2-part story, but I'm going to make Mike wait a week to get part 2 because we're only going to focus on, these are just short things, we'll focus on an issue at a time. But they'll look like this. World's Finest number 155 is what we're about to dive into, which is the cowed crime fighter hangs up his cape when it's exit Batman, enter Nightman. On the cover, we show Nightman is basically punching Batman square in the jaw, knocking him down to the ground. And Nightman says, "That's the way the Batman crumbles. I'm retiring this has-been once and for all. And from now on, you work for me, Robin." My favorite part is Superman says, "Sorry, Robin, by beating Batman," and he's holding a plaque, "by beating Batman, Nightman has the right to be my new partner. I'll have to redesign the Superman-Batman plaque to feature his insignia."
I don't understand why he's Nightman.
Because he fights at night.
Yeah, but he looks like an owl. Yeah. He's got the big eyes.
Well, owls fight at night,
He's got the little thing. Yeah, but just be Owlman.
But it doesn't sound as cool as Nightman.
Nightman fights against the Dayman.
So we have your two favorite heroes, Superman and Batman, in one adventure.
I didn't know
together.
they were partners.
Back then they were, yeah. Apparently. Well, not anymore. Superman has to change the insignia.
That's true. He has to change the
plaque.
plaque. Yeah. It's going to cost him upwards of $10.
But it's worth it to make sure that has-been Batman's not on there anymore. So we have what is called part 1 of our 2-part story today.
If I was Batman, I'd say thank God. And just back the hell out.
Yeah, just be done.
I'm gonna go to an island somewhere. I'm good.
It's the 1000th exploit of Superman and Batman.
Okay.
But as Batman's watching this film, he goes, "I won't be with Superman on our 1000th case." He has his new partner, Nightman.
He's so sad.
So sad
Poor
Batman's
little
watching Superman
Batman
fight crime with Nightman, just like, just so sad.
Somebody had to send him that footage.
No, he has you'll get to the story.
Oh, okay. All right. Does he have
we-
Jimmy Olsen filming it?
No, it's not Jimmy. Jimmy Olsen's in here.
Okay.
But it's not. See, there's that freckle face little guy.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. The guy they've chosen to play Jimmy Olsen in the new Superman thing
was in Psych. He played young Sean on Psych for a little bit.
Excellent.
Skyler. I can't remember his last
looks
name.
great.
Yeah.
Perfect look for that.
Yeah,
role.
no, for sure. I also just remember him as he played young Sean a little bit on flashbacks of Psych.
Right.
We open up our story with Batman and Superman having like the head of this like spaceship kind of thing. And they're talking about, "Oh, you should take this trophy to keep in the Batcave."
It's the capsule.
Yeah, the capsule.
That's the part that fires off and then lands in the ocean.
Yeah, and Batman's like, "No, Superman, this should be a trophy that stays in your Fortress of Solitude." They're essentially like fighting back of like, who gets to keep these trophies?
Yeah.
We've covered it before a while back, but during the 60s and like 50s and some in the 70s and stuff, like Batman and Superman both kept trophies of their exploits and like the crimes they solved in the Batcave and in the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, they show in the Batcave like there's a giant penny.
There's a
dinosaur. There's all kinds of stuff.
We then go to the Daily Planet.
Statue
where
of Liberty.
Cub reporter Jimmy Olsen tells, well, I don't know if he's still a Cub reporter this time.
Oh, I get it. Sure.
Tells Perry White, "Hey, like I've been like following the numbers on all these Batman Superman team ups and like all the crime that they've thwarted, and they're about to, like have their 1,000th like mission essentially. Like they're about to. That's a big deal."
Don't you hear his voice every time you see him as, "Hey, They're about to do their 1,000th Boeing.
Maybe a little bit, maybe not.
Like
so.
the guy on The Simpsons, the hey everybody.
Oh, but
that kid, yeah.
Maybe a little bit. I think he sometimes has like a. Remember, he's a master of disguise. I don't think he's disguising anybody with a voice like that.
I think he only had one nut drop. That's the problem. Like he's
poor Jimmy Olsen. He's our pal.
Hey everybody.
But
he wears a bow tie for God's sakes. Come on.
Perry tells him it's a different time, Mike.
Yeah,
they talk about inviting like all the world leaders to like come and celebrate this then.
Sure.
So they're all flown into Metropolis or to a place at a location between Metropolis and Gotham City.
So old Triple J, he's got the numbers for all the world leaders.
You mean Perry White? Triple J.
That's what I meant. Same thing. Whatever.
Well, or Jimmy Olsen might have them. Somebody does.
Same guy.
And so like all these people come and they're like, oh, look who's arrived. All the law officials from every country. So that you have to think there's like 250, 200. I don't even know how many countries.
There's no way they covered all the countries.
But they're all there to celebrate this, which if all the law like officials are there, who's running?
You know who's pissed?
Countries?
Zambia. They didn't get an invitation.
Probably. That's a Jimmy Olsen overload.
Uh-huh. That son of a bitch.
But they all present like.
He just invited a bunch of guys with fezzes.
That's it. He couldn't find it, and they're like, Jimmy, that's not.
Well,
how
he
this
knew
works.
His uncle is a Shriner, so
that's
he figured he could hook him up.
Car.
Yeah.
But like somebody goes, here's Scotland Yard. I gotta zoom in a bit on it. But he's like, as head of Scotland Yard, I'm happy to present you with this model of the Tower Bridge, which contains a transfer radio tuned to our official wavelength.
Very nice.
And then the guy from Paris is like, and this little Eiffel Tower contains a similar transceiver to talk to our like lawmen in Paris.
Yeah.
Then there's the pyramids from the guy in Egypt, and then there's the Taj Mahal from the guy from India. Everybody is presenting them just little tiny statues of like their famous landmarks that are all just radios.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens at the Model UN every single time.
That all just trans into radios.
Yeah.
But as they're honoring them, they're like, our Batman says, gentlemen, like there's something that may change your opinion of me and how you feel about me as this great crime fighter.
Uh-oh.
And everybody's like, what are you talking about, Batman? And like even Jimmy Olsen's like, Batman kind of looks like he feels guilt for something. Like what's going on here? And then it says, Superman's talking about like different things that they have still of like, oh, this is a test tube from that time that Robin got hit with growth serum and we had to figure out how to save him. And then this is like the kryptonite sensitive compass that Batman had to use to find, Superman's just showing off all their gadgets while Batman still feels bad about something.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, like, they talk about how, like, Batman, like, our Superman, you've done a lot of great stuff, and your partner Batman, he's so good. And Batman's just like, you're wrong, guys. You're wrong. I'm not that great. He goes, I don't deserve all these honors. You've been heaping on me. I'm a fake, an imposter. Superman has been covering up for me, but the truth is I've really failed as his partner.
What?
So Batman's really torn up by this. He goes, another lawman deserves the honors you've given me. A lawman named Nightman.
Nightman.
And they're like, Nightman? Why have I never heard of him? Or who is he? And Batman tells him, I don't know who he is, but he's been doing the feats I should have been doing. That's why I can't let you give me credit for his success. And they're just like, Batman, you've got to be joking. Like, what is this? He's like, no, I sent here. I'll show you. This is my Bat Eye, and it's like a drone essentially.
Yeah.
And he's made a 1966 drone.
It's his Bat Eye.
That's his Bat Eye. And he goes like, it patrols the city at night and takes film and pictures of stuff.
Sure.
And I noticed that when watching the film, I can show you this Nightman guy. And he goes like, here's Superman. And he received a signal asking
He's the guy
his
up
help.
there going like this.
Hey,
everybody.
Superman, I need you.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, all right, let's see what this guy
He was
needs.
tough to find.
And it says, as the film made by the Bad Eye unreels, because it keeps showing, Superman shows up and he's like, hey, who are you? And the guy goes, well, you can call me Nightman. And I think I found that secret base that those jewel thieves have been vanishing into. Like, you've been trying to hunt them and you can't. Like, I think I figured it out. So he takes him to the park where there's a giant display that's been built by NASA.
Sure.
To help people understand the Apollo mission.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes,
it's just Batman in that suit, right?
I don't know. Batman's trying to figure out who it is.
All right. Okay. All right.
So, Nightman says their base has to be in the center of the city. And when I examined this one detail about it made me suspicious. Like some of the holes on these craters, they don't exist on the moon. They've been drilled in to be air holes. They have to be inside this planetary, like.
So he's just up there sticking his hand in holes on this planet.
Do you not see him on the moon?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He's just. Bloop.
So Superman's like, all right, let's see if you're right. And Superman grabs like the thing.
He's
of
going
the moon and
noodling.
just lifts it up.
He's going noodling.
He is, except for criminals, not catfish.
Right.
And he just lifts up the entire thing of the moon, and sure enough, the jewel thieves are in there, and Nightman punches them both out, and then they're like, all right, but where are the jewels? And about that time, Batman notices the Apollo shuttle that keeps going around. He's like, it's on a different course than it actually is. Like, something might be weighing it down. And sure enough, they open it up, and that's where all the jewels were at.
Man.
So,
good job,
Nightman has essentially found these jewel thieves.
Right.
And Batman, as the film ends, he's like, see, now you know that, like, Nightman's the guy that's been helping with all this. And they asked Superman, like, Superman, couldn't you just use your X-ray vision to be able to tell then who Nightman is? And Superman says, like, I could, but Nightman, where's he? Oh, I couldn't, for his mask was lined with lead. Because remember, Superman can't see through lead.
Yeah.
But again, why would you put lead in your mask?
Well, because there's no harm in that. I mean, it's never going to hurt you.
No, not at all. So he says, like, whoever this Nightman guy is the guy who's been helping him. And Superman says, Batman, wait, you should try to solve the mystery of Nightman's identity. It could be important.
It could.
And Robin's like, you're right, Batman.
Sure.
Like, Nightman could be some sinister guy, like, pretending to be good. Like, we need to figure out who that is. And he's like, but how can I hope to catch, like, somebody like Nightman when he's, like, so smart? And one of the world leaders is like, no matter how clever Nightman is, I know this. There's no greater detective than you, Batman.
Oh.
And so they decide that, what? I give you 1 week to figure out who Nightman is. So Batman leaves, and he goes, I'll try, but if I can't unmask Nightman, then that means that he is cleverer than me. And
so
he should replace me as Gotham City's
Superman is giving Batman a week to figure out who Nightman is.
the world leader. That guy right there is giving him a week.
The world leader.
I don't know who he is. He's just one of the guys there.
Zorgon, the world leader.
Is it the guy who gave him? It's the Scotland Yard. No, it's not.
Oh no, it go down.
It's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, it's Gordon. Yeah.
It's not said, but that's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
So Gordon's giving him a week.
He's got his policing glasses on.
Yep, that's how I was able to tell. So Batman and Robin drive off, and it says, as the Batmobile roars away, on the beginning of a desperate quest, Robin has speech bubbles. It goes, this is the Batman's greatest challenge. If he fails in this case, it's the end of his career.
Oh, no.
And that's where we end part 1 of our story. Oof. Now, part 2 is the incredible identity of Nightman. And we see Nightman standing on the edge of a rooftop, and Robin says, poor Batman, his place as the champion lawman of Gotham City has been taken by this mysterious Nightman, and we can't even find out who Nightman is. We see Batman studying the film.
Look at those dumbass eyes.
We see Batman and Robin studying the film back at the Batcave very closely.
Yeah.
And Batman zooms in and notices, look at his stubble. It's like dark stubble. We can deter from this that he's dark-haired.
Good going, Batman. You did it.
Look at him standing next to Superman. They're about the same height.
Oh.
We know how tall Nightman is. And he's like, in the fighting he did and everything he pointed out, like, he used his right hand mainly. This guy's right-handed. Like, Batman's sitting there watching the film, trying to be a detective and deduce all this. And he goes, maybe we'd better quit until morning now. I'm pooped. And Batman's like, no. That's what Robin tells him. And Batman's like, no. We got to figure out who this is.
What the hell did you do, Robin? You didn't do
You're just
anything.
sitting here watching me be a
That's
detective.
what I'm saying. You're just watching him. Oh, I'm pooped, man. I gotta go.
So he goes, Nightman's claimed to be a lawman. Like, I'm going to run it through this computer.
And Batman sticks around and keeps working.
He does. Robin leaves.
Freaking
and Batman's
Robin.
like, this is an important thing. I only have a week to figure out who Nightman is. So he runs it through his computer to try to narrow down who it could be. And he's given 3 different guys of who could potentially be Nightman. We have
the one in the middle is Mark Wahlberg.
We have Emilio Ruiz, who is a Mexican lawman. There's Jay Loyne, who's a British Secret Service agent, and then there's Ace Lanier, an insurance investigator.
Ace
Lanier.
My name is Ace Lanier.
So Batman's like, I'm gonna go figure out who these I'm gonna go interview these three men. One of them has to be Nightman.
Sure.
And he's going to get into the Batmobile. And Robin's like, Batman, you have to rest. You'll pass out unless you don't get some sleep. And Batman's like, I haven't got time to sleep. I'm getting tired though. Essentially, he's like,
yeah.
So Robin,
everybody gets tired.
Yeah, Robin essentially forces Batman to sleep. Then
he tucks him in.
He does. Robin goes and is a nice guy and tucks him in, and he's like, Superman will handle whatever kind of comes up tonight. Even if in this sleep, the mystery of Nightman seems to haunt him because he's as he's dreaming, he's going, Nightman.
Nightman.
And he's like,
Nightman.
Hopefully nothing happens before morning. Well, Superman is tasked to help, guard and transport this priceless relic of ancient art that has landed there in Metropolis.
It's beautiful, too.
They put it on a truck, and they're going to move it to the museum. Well, Nightman shows up as the truck's going by, and he's like, that truck looks awfully heavy. The wheels kind of seem a little flat, it's riding really heavy.
Sure.
I'm going to pick the lock of this truck and just kind of see what's going on there.
Yeah, it's exactly what Batman would do. Just pick the lock.
Well, this is Nightman, not
and
Batman.
Look in private property. No, I'm saying we're saying that Nightman is better than Batman.
Oh, fair enough.
Nightman just sticks his nose in wherever the hell he wants.
He does. So then, as they land, a little later, when the truck reaches the dock, I'm sorry, maybe they're moving it to B ship somewhere else.
Right.
And we'll take the delivery from here. And he's like, all right. And they go to sign for it. And Superman goes, hold on. My super memory recalls that I saw that guy once in a police lineup. There's no way he could have gotten this job here with his record, I guess. They wouldn't have given him this job. And the guy goes, but there's one thing you didn't see, Superman. The little surprise we brought for you. We lined this truck in lead, and we have kryptonite, our green kryptonite hidden under here. So you couldn't see inside, and we could, and he's reaching for it. And Superman goes, have yourself a good laugh, chum, while you can. And he's like, what do you mean? And Nightman pops up and he goes, your lead lining made the truck so heavy that I got suspicious. I broke in and got rid of the kryptonite and took its place. And so they lock up the bag, they arrest them there. And then we go back to the Batcave where Batman's coming down after waking up, putting a suit on. He's like, all right, Robin, let's get back to figuring out this Nightman case.
Is Robin fixing a Roomba?
No, that's the Bat Eye.
Oh, the Bat Eye.
The camera, the
gotcha.
little drone.
Got it.
And Robin's like, well, Nightman stole your thunder again, Batman, while you're sleeping. And he plays in the video from the night before. So Batman's like, all right, that's it. I have to figure out who this guy is. So he goes to see if it's Ace Lanier, the insurance investigator. But he finds out that Ace has been in a state prison trying to get somebody to turn, I guess, witness and trying to get information out of him.
Right.
And the warden's like, no, there's a camera in that cell. He hasn't been anywhere.
Yeah.
So then Batman goes down to Mexico to see if it's Emilio Ruiz. But he notices while they're there that there's two people in costumes.
One of them's dressed as Shrek.
One does, and the other one's dressed as Orange Shrek. And they both have guns noticeable through their clothing.
Yeah.
And Batman notices it, and he's going to stop when about that time Emilio Ruiz does show up. And he's like, you two guys thought you could get out of here trying to sneak in with the crowd of costumed people at this party. I'll stop you. And Batman just doesn't wait for him and comes in and just pulls a good old Red B, 2 knockouts with 1 punch.
No one gets past Ruiz.
But Batman's, knocks him out. And about that time, Ruiz is like, oh, Batman, thank you for your work.
Thanks, Bat Guy.
And so he goes, Batman tells him hey, I have this Nightman thing. Is that you? And Ruiz is like, no, it's not. At that time last night, I was actually here. There was a dinner that they had. I have pictures to show you of that was a dinner honoring me for, wasn't done. So no. Yeah. And he sees the pictures and he's like, okay, then it's got to be the MI6 agent.
Has to be.
So he flies over to the UK.
It's not, but it has to be.
To find out that oh, no, the guy that he was looking for was wounded in a dangerous mission weeks ago.
Oh, no.
And is just now recovering still in the hospital. Like, it possibly couldn't have been him.
Nope.
So
There's only one guy left.
Batman goes back to the Batcave, and he's tired again, and he's hopeless.
So tired.
And he's like, no, Nightman didn't show up while you were gone, Batman, but you only have like 24 hours left to kind of solve his identity.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, I know, but my plan, like, it's a complete bust. And he's just sitting there thinking more, and he goes, Robin says, I don't dig. I tried to sound cool.
Nice job, Robin.
Yeah. Nightman has
don't
proved
dig.
that, he's a lawman, and our, like, the computer files, like, it had to be one of them. And Batman goes, well, I wonder. And he just kind of thinks. He goes, there is another lawman who fits like a missing jigsaw piece, but who isn't in our file. And Robin goes, well, everybody's like in that side, or every lawman this side of the Iron Curtain's in that file.
This side of the Iron Curtain.
Yeah. And Batman goes, no, there's one left out. And I'm dead on my feet, Robin. I have to sleep, but I want you to. And it goes off. And we see later that evening, like, Nightman does kind of flash out, and Robin's there to watch him. And he's jumping down, and Robin goes, or to stop some thugs, and Robin goes, by tailing Nightman, I've proved that Batman's theory about his identity is correct. So now Robin knows who he is. They show back up the next day in the trophy hall of Superman and Batman team with all the world leaders and everybody back there. Gordon's like, well, have you discovered Nightman's identity? And Batman goes, yes. And I've sent him word to meet me here for a showdown. He'll be here any moment. And about that time, Nightman runs in and he goes, all right, he's like, he's here. Batman, did you mean what you wrote? You'll battle me and the loser will retire from crime fighting? And Batman goes, right. And if Nightman wins, from now on, he'll replace me as Superman's partner. Agreed? And Superman goes, Nightman, it can't be. But
And then
I
he says, I
guess
sure
so.
do.
I guess so, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
So Nightman and Batman get into a slugfest with one another, right?
Some
They're just
pals, some
punching each
thuds,
other,
some
knocking each
whacks.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually, though, Nightman gets the upper hand and knocks Batman down, and we get the clip from our cover. It was actually in here with him holding the plaque.
Very rarely will you
And
get
Nightman
that.
says, that's the way the Batman crumbles. Guess I'm your new partner now, Superman.
There it is.
And Superman goes, oh, it seems here's this plaque was meant for Batman, but now it's all yours. And he goes, only you're not the real Nightman, mister. And then Commissioner Gordon's like, but how can you tell if his mask is lined with lead? And he goes, elementary, my dear Commissioner. My super hearing picked up on the faint creak of metallic joints when Nightman moved. You should have oiled your robot better, Batman. And Batman gets up and he's like, ha, nice going, Superman. I hadn't used my Batman robot for a long time. But when I found out who Nightman was, I decided to program it for a fake fight. We find out because Commissioner Gordon goes, okay, I'm completely confused by this. Like, why don't you guys just explain it to me? And he goes, to repay Superman for his deception, I was sure he was behind Nightman all along, especially since I deduced that only one lawman who fit Nightman's description yet wasn't in my file, me. So you were right.
Yeah.
But we find out
Well, he's getting sleepy, right?
he gets sleepy.
But then how does he fight himself?
So, well, the robot. He had one of his Batman
Oh, you're
robot
right.
as the
It's a
Nightman.
robot. Gotcha. Okay.
So he goes, it dawned on me that Nightman never appeared except when I was sleeping. So I had Robin watch me. He had Robin watch him at night.
That's gross.
And he saw me wake to change into Nightman.
I see you've woken.
And Superman's like, oh, you're right. I'm the one who hypnotized you. And he goes,
Hypnotized.
Once for a birthday present, Batman dreamed up a puzzle that took all my power to solve. To celebrate our 1000th case together, I decided to return the favor in spades. Yikes. I worked out a problem that would give him a real run for his money. If Batman had to solve a mystery man's identity and didn't know that mystery man was himself, it'd be a supreme challenge to his genius. I think I can set it up. So he lies to Batman. He's like, hey, you know that Bat Eye camera that you've been working on? I've made a super eye that I want to try to see like if it works as well as yours. Can you take a look at it? And so Batman's like, yeah, sure. And he looks into it. And when he does, Superman flips like this little switch and it shoots a ray into Batman's pupils. And he goes, it's expanding and contrasting as my hand operates. So he's just like flipping it back and forth like a light switch.
Jesus.
To put him into super hypnotism is what he used. And he tells him, each night you will feel sleepy. Make and put on a new costume and go forth as Nightman. When you're Nightman, you won't remember you're Batman, and vice versa. And Batman goes, I won't remember. And then Superman just hung around to make sure that the whole thing worked.
Yeah.
So when he got waved down by Nightman, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's Batman. Let's see how long it takes him to deduce this and figure it out. So
do we really know why he's doing this?
Just for fun. Just so Batman had a cool mystery for their 1,000th crime.
So he made a whole costume. He did a whole thing.
Yeah, like he had Batman make all that. And he did have him like line the mask with lead too.
Yeah.
And Batman remembered that.
So good job, Batman.
Then they're like, I warned you, Batman, to solve the 1,000th case, the toughest test I could give you, and you did it. The trophy of this Nightman's costume belongs to you. And he goes, thanks, Superman. It's like you to plan to honor me like this. Only one thing. I hope that the whole rest of my life, I never again have to go chase myself.
Womp, womp. Then you get like a freeze frame. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's very nice.
And so that ends the mystery of Nightman.
Nightman ever come up again?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a one-off. It was Bruce probably. But that is this week's episode.
Well, that was fun.
To give you it's just some fun, stupid silliness that we can all enjoy, and gives you a tease of what you can expect on Wednesday. Yeah. Next Monday, though, we'll get into I don't know. I think I talked about potentially doing some Alan Moore.
You did.
But we'll do something a little different. Talked about we covered in the first one that we didn't bring up this time is that we are going to cover the new Absolute Universe when that starts too, to cover the new stuff there. So that'll be a first for us.
Big ass Batman logo
that I think is also the head of a battle axe. So
it looks like somebody took a marker and just went.
It does not look like a bat at all.
No, it doesn't.
I think it's supposed to protect his vitals.
What's a fat bat?
Fat bat. My favorite one is the Batman who lifts, is what they call him.
Oh, very nice.
Because he's like 7 foot tall in the suit. Yeah. Like he's just big and muscly. He looks Jim Bro-ish.
That's cool. I want to hear that.
Well, we'll dive into that in October. So that's what we have today. The Nightman mystery and Aquaman goes to college. As always, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to listen and watch. And make sure to check out all the other great podcasts on the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Hey, Golly Con!
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about...
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.